Alright, so let's talk about how to. Oh, my PC just wrapped up. How to control the body's vital functions, or more or less the things that you might have trouble with day to day. So, anyway, most easiest thing to understand is the organs. For these things, the organs in the body. So, that's the little head, that's a neck, that's a chest, the shoulders, and the butt. So, this is a basic, you know, kind of alchemical cauldron diagram of the body, you can think, or alchemical bottle, excuse me. And the main areas is we obviously have our guts here. Excuse me one second. So our guts, um, kidneys and adrenals. So this is where anxiety can come from. Guts is where indigestion. Take too long to write all these, whatever. Another important one is the mind. The mind, mental issues, things like schizophrenia, any actual brain-centered thing. Because people are like, oh, I have anxiety, I need a pill for it's a brain issue. And it's like, well, everything's a brain issue, but everything's also a body issue. So it's not really a brain-centric issue, so to speak. Anxiety is more of actually it's what we call the Ming Men. If you look up the Ming Men, it's basically the whole. It can be a point, but it's this whole region, like the whole mid-back region. If your belly's kind of belly button's like there. It's like this. It's this thing which goes around the belt. If you look at like the laterals kind of go into there, and then you have this region here, and then you have the lower, it's a bit larger, lower back. You have your butt region there. It's kind of all around here, because the kidneys, I believe, are there. This is like the rib cage lateral, and you've got this region called the Ming Men, which is where the anxiety usually can come up a little higher as well. Anxiety will actually be in the body. Now, how do you now that you know like the region, how do you control this? Or maybe you have indigestion, that's another one. You could have excessive urination, bladders down there. Bowel problems, again, right there. People have IBS, feel like they need to shit themselves all the time. That's a horrible thing. You really can't go out too safely if you feel like your bowels are spicy. They're about to blow. Not a good thing. Another one could be like an asthma. I imagine that's like a lung inability to essentially function the lungs. So firstly, we need to understand, number one is where is your problem. Number one. Focus on one problem at a time. Is it in the mind? It's like imagination, like you're imagining things, and you have to stop imagining things. Are you getting thoughts? Are you getting really bad thoughts? Is your throat acting up? Maybe you can't speak, or maybe you speak too much. You speak too loud. Is that your issue? Are you getting heart palpitations? Could be related to anxiety as well. Sometimes, like you get anxiety, asthma. You got to figure out what is your issue. And Chinese medicine-based anger is in the liver. So if we have a chest, shoulders, and belly, liver's kind of here, I guess. Pretty big thing. Lungs. Liver, stomach, LS, lungs, heart, pretty much in the center. H, kidneys, again. If you wanted some basic anatomy, and then you've got in the middle, which is like the soul, so to speak. I think is the what's it called? I forget. You got something in the middle. It's a pretty basic organ. It's a less, not quite a and that's kind of like the basic upper torso anatomy if you're interested. So yeah, look up the relation between the emotions and problems. Heart can be excessive amounts of what do you call it, like energy and joy, and people who are just kind of crazy like that. Lungs can be depression, so this might be something to look up. Stomach is worry, kidneys is fear, liver is anger. Excuse me. So going on, number 2, once you know where, is to I guess diagnose. Yeah, that didn't. That looks a little bit artistic. Anyway, diagnose. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, so just say you have indigestion. Is the problem that you are too tense and that your guts are just blocked up and that they're tight, and are you holding tension there? So the thing is to know is simple things, simple little polarities is tense, relax. Are you too tense or are you too relaxed? Usually you want a balance. Sometimes you want to be more relaxed, sometimes you want to be more tense, sometimes you want to use these faculties. If your guts are too tense, then you need to relax them. Now what you would do is you would focus on the small intestinal region or the large intestine if you're having a large intestinal issue with more the bowels and the things traveling through there, and you'd relax. And remember that these are energetic centers as well. So if we get some of this, to use a different brush, these are energetic centers, see? So that means you can just focus on the area. You don't have to focus on the physical thing. You can if you want to get more in depth with it, but you just focus on the region and you just relax the region because it's a spiritual center. Now another problem could be the lungs. Maybe you have this again tight, tensed, closed lungs, and the tubes of the throat could be closed. So what you have to do is you have to focus on it, and usually when you focus on a region, no matter what, even if you don't tense it or relax it or do anything to it, because it starts to receive energy, it starts to heal itself and remodulate itself, go into harmony again. So you'll focus on the lungs and just let them do what they want to do. But maybe you figure out, oh, they're very closed. The throat tube very closed, and you start to open it. You open up the throat. You open up. This can help people who they use like a CPAP machine or whatever. You open up the throat tube. If you have like thyroid issues, throat issues, you can have a very tight throat. Open it up and relax all the muscles and open it up. Now, an issue with needing tension, for example, could actually be the anal sphincter and the bowel, or the bladder. Sometimes, and sometimes the anxiety as well. You need to kind of clamp down a little, and not too much, or you will holding tension in that part of the body for a long time, like excessive tension, can burn it. A little bit can be okay. So just say someone who has a urinary sphincter issue, or a anal sphincter issue, a bowel sphincter, they need to tense it a little bit more. So maybe after urination, after using the bathroom, they have to focus on that sphincter area, and they have to bring it back into a state of tension, into a state of being closed. And this can also be exercised, for example, the urinary sphincter or the anal sphincter through pulsating tension, kind of like a Kegel, but that's more in the perineal area. So yeah, that's one way, for example, that you would use tension to regulate and modulate the body. Similarly, the lower belly region, maybe if you have too much, you have a very excessive bladder, you could put a little bit of pressure and you can focus on the bladder region and calm it and relax it for a while. Sometimes if you have an organ which is very damaged, you need to focus on there for a long time. And this organ, it could take months, it could take even years to fix it if you have a chronic issue, but you will feel better every day. Usually most issues will just take a few weeks to a month, or if it's just say you hurt yourself, like you have a little bit of indigestion, you just focus there for like 10-20 minutes and you relax and open it up, and you don't overly relax it, like extend your belly out. You can maybe it'll help you for a bit, but then you kind of get your belly back into a natural position for you, and then you go about your day. That's your done. Same way with the sphincter issue. You go about your day, or maybe you do that with your throat. You'd open it up. Maybe every time you have trouble breathing, you focus back on the lungs and you do that. But if you had a chronic issue, just say you had a chronic lung issue where it was very difficult to breathe, you would focus on the whole chest region here is a spiritual center. You can single out the lungs. You can focus on just them by kind of focusing on both the chest muscles and then going back, sinking back in, or breathing in and feeling the things that pressurize, for example, and you can keep the focus on that if you need to. Now going to the brain, if you have excessive thoughts, sometimes traumatic. Now, of course, a traumatic thought will be held somewhere in the body and its organs, but it will be viewed, for example, if you're having a traumatic flashback, some kind of OCD where the mind is telling you that you need to do things, maybe demonic thoughts or demonic possession to the mind. These things will be handled through the brain center. Now, you can focus on specific regions, perhaps the ears, the ear region, or the eye region, if that is where you need to focus on. Maybe you're having dry eyes or something like that, and you focus on the eyes. But if you're having neurological mind issues, you would focus on the brain area, and you feel if you need to relax it or tense it. Otherwise, just focus there, because you can't go wrong with just having a neutral focus. Usually that will help you out, and that will fix most things. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful to you, and I hope you are able to help fix your own issues. This is how to do it without any kind of medication or herbs or other physical exercises, but of course all of those things can help you. Anyway, have a nice day, and as always, feel free to check the links in the description for social or commercial stuff if you're interested, and goodbye.